Okay, so number 7. I'm going to use the alternate form. To find the slope of the tangent line for f of x is equal to x to the 1/3, where x is equal to 0. Okay, so we have f prime of c is equal to the limit as x approaches c of f of x minus f of c all over x minus c. So f prime of 0 is equal to the limit as x approaches 0 of x to the 1/3 minus 0 to the 1/3 all over x minus 0. So that is going to simplify to be x to the 1/3 all over x. And when you simplify that, all you have to do is subtract those exponents right there. We get x to the 2/3 on the bottom. Let's come up here. Okay, so f prime of 0 ends up being 1 over 0, which is undefined. Now what that tells me is that f of x is not differentiable at x equals 0. It may be differentiable at other points, but it is not differentiable there. Alright, just a couple more examples here and I'll be done with this one. Alright, let's find the equation of the line tangent to f of x is equal to x cubed plus 2 and parallel to the line 3x minus y minus 4 is equal to 0. Okay, so what we have to do here is notice that they don't give us a point or anything here. But you know, in order to find the equation of a line, you've got to know your slope and you've got to know a point. What they haven't told us is the point. We know that this is the curve. We know that whatever line is tangent to this curve that they want us to find is parallel to this line. So what we need to figure out is, well, what is the slope of this line? And a quick way to figure out this slope is to recognize that this is in general form, and general form means you have ax plus by plus c is equal to 0, and that the slope would be the opposite of a over b. Learn how to find those slopes real quick. So in this case it would be -3 over -1, and that slope would be 3. So that's going to help us out because we know the slope of this tangent line is going to be 3. So what we're going to do is, remember, when I say slope you say derivative, or when I say derivative you say slope. You need to learn that derivative and slope means the same thing. Alright, so if my slope is 3, then what I want to do is find my derivative of this function. And if I can get the derivative of that function, then I can just set it equal to 3, and I can figure out the x value at which that slope happens, plug it back into this function, find the y value. That would give me my ordered pair. So that would give me the point that I need in order to find the equation of the line. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to figure out this derivative first. So I'm going to do the limit as delta x approaches 0 of f of x plus delta x, and then minus f of x itself, and all of that's going to be over delta x. So we're going to simplify that. Okay, and remember from previous lessons, know how to expand a binomial cubed really, really quick in my class. After you expand it, do not forget to bring down that plus 2. Just wait for that little bit of circle of death right here to stop spinning. While it spins, I'll tell you, you're going to bring down that plus 2. You're also going to distribute that negative right there. Don't forget that. Okay, and then all of this is over delta x. And if we did this right, everything that does not have a delta x is going to cancel. I'm going to do 2 steps in 1 here, and go ahead and look at all of these terms that are left that have a delta x, and I'm going to factor, in my head, I'm going to factor out the delta x and cancel it with that one. So that's going to leave me with 3x squared plus 3x delta x plus delta x cubed. Take that limit by direct sub, putting 0 in the place of the delta x's right here. And I find out that my derivative is 3x squared. Later we're going to learn a little shortcut to figuring that out. Okay, so remember, your derivative is your slope. Derivative is your slope. Is means equal mark. Slope we just found to be 3. Derivative we just found to be 3x squared. So we have x squared is equal to 1, so x is plus or minus 1. So that tangent line, there's actually going to be 2 tangent lines. That's parallel. There's 2 lines that are tangent to that curve that are parallel to the given line, and they occur where x is positive 1 and where x is negative 1. What we have to do is figure out, well, what are those ordered pairs, so we can actually write the tangent lines. So we have to plug this back into f of x itself. Now remember that f of x was x cubed plus 2. The reason why we're plugging it back into f of x itself is because if these lines, and I'll do a little rough sketch for you right here to hopefully make this make a little better sense. Alright, you know, you've got this curve x cubed plus 2, it's sitting about like that. Okay, what's happening is you've got a line that is tangent where x is negative 1. You've got a line that's tangent where x is positive 1. Okay, and both of those lines are tangent to, are parallel to that given line. This was your given line, 3x minus y minus 4 equals 0. Okay, so there's your given line. Right here is where x is equal to 1, and right here is where x is equal to negative 1. So these 2 lines right here are both going to be parallel to that line. So we know that it occurs at those 2x values right there. Now to get our ordered pair, to figure out our y value, we're plugging it back into f of x because both of those points are on f of x. So if I plug those x values into f of x, then I can figure out what the corresponding y values are. So the two ordered pairs that I'm going to be using are going to be 1, 3 and negative 1, 1. So right here is the negative 1, 1, and right here is the 1, 3. And both of these have a slope of 3, because all of 3 of these have a slope of 3. So if I use my point slope formula, then y minus 3 is equal to 3 times x minus 1 is one of my tangent lines, is this one right here. That's the equation of that one. And then the other one is y minus 1 is equal to 3 times x minus negative 1. So these are your two tangent lines right here that they want. So you have two different answers right there. And you can leave it in point slope form. The only time that you don't have to leave it in point slope form is if it's multiple choice and your choices are not in this form, then you can just multiply it out. Okay? All right, last one here, number 9. Okay, we're going to find equations of the tangent, find the equation, and my little doggy is over here panting heavily again. Find the equation of the normal line. So if you hear her on the video, then that's her. She's walking all over my lesson plans. She's kind of cute, so I let her get away with it. Okay. If your function is again x cubed plus 2, and your ordered pair is going to be 1, 3. Okay. From the last problem, okay, from number 8, all right, we found that our derivative is 3x squared, right? Okay. Normal line is perpendicular to your tangent line. And perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocal slopes. Okay, so I've got my ordered pair. All I have to do is find my slope. Well, my slope of the tangent line at 1, 3 would be f prime of 1. Which is 3. Okay, and that means my perpendicular slope would be negative 1/3. So I've got my ordered pair, I've got my slope, all I have to do is plug that in. And this would be the equation of my normal line right here.